Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share my video. Stevie Nicks was 27 when she became the queen bee of the British American rock band Fleetwood Mac. Up until that time, writing songs and singing with her longtime sweetheart Lindsey Buckingham, she had not indulged in drugs, but that was all about to change. She quickly descended into drugs hell and became addicted to cocaine, alcohol, quaaludes to sleep and cigarettes until her system broke down and she started having nosebleeds, falls on stage, blackouts and near overdoses. She bought $1 million worth of cocaine and it burned a hole in her nose the size of a dime. Rumors spread that she had to have the drug blown up her derriere by an assistant. That was no way to get off the white horse and I did not want to, the now 66-year-old Nick said. She only slowed down her drug consumption when her doctor warned her she was risking permanent mental and physical damage as well as heading for the brain hemorrhage or an early grave. The group called for an intervention and saved her life by urging him to check in to the Betty Ford Center. Stevie got cleaned up from one drug and went into therapy, but for the next 9 years she became dependent on another drug prescribed for anxiety that plunged her into years of depression and weight gain. But I got through it. I was so lucky. Zoe Howe quotes Nicks in her new book Stevie Nicks, Visions, Dreams and Rumors, published by Omnibus Press 5 February. Nicks fell madly in love with Mick Fleetwood 2 years after she joined Fleetwood Mac while she was dating the Eagles' Don Henley in 1977. She called Mick one of her great loves. Fleetwood in his own biography writes they secretly began seeing each other in Los Angeles while on the break from a tour, the clandestine nature of the meetings accelerating their passion. I was in love with her and she loved me and I was not something passing in the night. I was a proper Hollywood affair on the par. It was a proper Hollywood affair on the par with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor, but the complications with significant others and bandmates made it feel like utter madness. Mick was still married to model Jenny Boyd at the time, but the greatest love in Nick's life was keyboard player and guitarist Joy Walsh of the Eagles. She still carries a torch for the musician, but Walsh believed one of them would die from a drug overdose if they stayed together, so he walked out the door. There was no other man in the world for me, and it's the same today, Nicks confessed. Fleetwood Mac was a fairy tale on acid to Stevie Nicks, and Mick Fleetwood was like an English king to her when they first met in Los Angeles. I was awestruck. I still am to this day of Mick's presence. Endless days recording in the studio with Fleetwood, cocaine now became a daily indulgence for Nicks as well as Courvoisier, Heineken beer, honey and hot tea and marijuana. She consumed so many drugs that weeks went by without sleep. Nicks wore a little gold and turquoise bottle inlaid with diamonds of coke around her neck so she would never be without that drug. While the guys did rails of coke, the girls daintily inhaled a tiny spoonful of the drug. Crystals, balls, knickknacks, dolls, gypsy chick, chiffon dresses, shawl, trinkets, feathers, lace, twirling on stage and mountains of drugs defined her rock and roll lifestyle. They were the world's most hedonistic band, the author writes. To avoid body searches by customs in Europe, they hired a private train to travel through Germany and into France and Holland. The luxurious lounge car with its gold light fitting and velvet drapes had once belonged to Hitler, including the elderly attendant who had once served the Führer and was still on board. Every whim of the band members was met. While on tour, all Nicks wanted was the presidential suite at hotel. We were elegant people and we wanted a place to sleep after the show that was beautiful. Before falling into the arms of Mick and Joe Walsh, Nicks had an affair with Eagle Don Henley, founding member of the group, drummer and singer. She was romanced by the Maseratis, the mansions, the destroyed hotels, the parties that defined the Eagle lifestyle. She became pregnant with his child and chose to have an abortion. The affair was quickly over, but she wrote a song, Sarah, for their unborn girl. With Eagle Joe Walsh, it was love. We were busy being superstars and everyone was doing way too many drugs, but I was so in love with him. Nicks is quoted as saying, of all the men she had been involved with, Joe was the one man she wanted to marry. There was nothing more important than Joe Walsh, not my music, not my songs, not anything. I remember days of misery waiting by the phone. Me in my house with him saying, I am going to visit you. I would kick everyone out because I just wanted to be with him and not a phone call. I put up with it because I was in love with him. With all the drugs, we were a couple on the way to hell. It took me a long time to get over it. She was caught up in depression for 9 years that resulted from long-term use of the tranquilizer Klonopin prescribed for her anxiety while recovering from cocaine dependency. She supplemented the Klonopin with barbiturates. After having her breast implants removed in December 1976, she was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr, a viral infection that caused crippling fatigue. She underwent plastic surgery to change the proportion of her body. After soaring up to 170 75 pounds on the drug. The drugs were killing her, and she admitted herself to the Daniel Freeman Memorial Hospital in Venice Beach. This detox were harder than kicking her cocaine addiction. Her last tour with Fleetwood Mac within December 1919 until the group decided those were the best years of their lives. They mended old ills and jumped back out on tour late in 2014. In those intervening years, Nix put out quadruple platinum solo albums. I believe there have been angels with me constantly through these last 20 years, so I would not be alive. Her one big regret, however, was not the drugs, not the affairs, but not stopping to have a baby. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.